While I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband.
That being a powerful woman is acting like a man.
I'm in a stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married. I was like, you'll meet the one. I haven't succeeded at anything.
The men that they overlooked in their 20s, they didn't just vanish. They were building without the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first. You don't need a man.
It's okay for me to need help. It's okay for me to know that there are certain things that I can't really do by myself.
You want to be a boss, babe? I don't need no man. You go do you, boo. But stop teaching that that's the answer. Saying this, I feel like a lot of women have forgotten their place. And we live in this inverted world. And we in this whole feminism thing. Feminism is a scam. And now it's like trying to undo. It is. Feminism, I don't care what anybody says. Yes, we are equal in value, but we are not equal in traits. We are different. Men and women are different.
I agree with that.
And I'm so sick and tired of why are we fighting to be something that we're not? I am not a man. I will never be a man. And for those of you that make that decision, I love that for you. Period. But there are certain things that are just, y'all are stronger than we are. We are more detail oriented than you are. There are certain traits that we naturally got from God based on the gender that we are. And it's all based on survival. It's all based on human nature. And so I feel like women have, a lot of women, not all women, but most women have forgotten their place.
Within themselves.
Within themselves, within the order of family, within the order, even like with God. You know, if you just want to start blanketing statements, like, now this is the thing. If you are a masculine woman, that's fine. But stop acting like you're feminine. If you want to be a boss, babe, I don't need no man. You go do you, boo. But stop teaching that that's the answer. Because I'm sick and tired of this divide of the family. I'm sick and tired of now good men, like, and I'm listening to like stories, right? Good men are getting lazy in dating. They're getting lazy in the pursuit because women are making either everything too easy or they're too hands off. So now what's the point in even trying to date a woman when you're the man that you want me to be?
Feminism is a scam. It was sold to women as it would make them happier. But what they're seeing is, hey, if I sacrifice my entire life to go focus on my professional career, it actually doesn't make me happier. I become more depressed and anxious, and there's more stress in life, versus the original plan, the way God designed it, was the husband is the head of the household and the woman is coming up under him, and she gets to take care of the family, and she can have a professional career too, which is fantastic, but it's not her primary aim. Her primary aim is not. And so what we have many women that are dissatisfied with their life. Imagine being a 50-year-old woman with no kids, but you have a bunch of money. You have no family, but you are wealthy. You've worked your way up the social professional hierarchy. And so I think women are realizing that they want to come back home. Yeah, they still want to work 100%, but they want their family to be the priority, not their professional career.
Toxic femininity, like literally. Half of the people, of the women who are calling themselves feminists are not really feminists. These are wounded women, people who've been wounded so badly by men that now they hate all sorts of men. And now they're parading and talking about the fact that they are feminists. Okay? So I got this idea from one of the posts I did. Was it last week? I did a post about men need to go and get DNA tests for kids. You need to go and check if that child is really yours. Literally. How is that irrational? How is it irrational to tell a man to go and check if that child is really his? As in really. And by the way, it's open to you as a man. You want to go and do a DNA test. Do it because you want to. Do it because you...
And you know the thing about that, if you're a man, you got a kid, take the kid and go do it yourself. I'm sure there's something out there where you can do it without their consent. Go get that done.
The truth. If you're not ready, then don't. Don't. Just keep carrying on your fatherly duties and maybe, you know, form a bond with the child. If you come on a shuku, just continue forming the bond with the child if you don't want to know, and that's fine. It's open to you. But I made a post about DNA testing. I cannot believe it. The amount of toxic femininity. There is a particular comment where this woman said that even when, and I'll quote, even when a woman unalives a man, even though a woman unalives a man, she will celebrate and take the woman's side. That was an actual comment on that video. And now that I've mentioned it, guys, as in, I can actually imagine that she might actually delete it very quickly. She will delete that comment so fast because that is not feminism. I want to make it clear. Femininity, toxic femininity means that you actually hate the male gender. You hate them. That is not femininity. You're just evil. Okay? You're just wounded. Go for therapy. Go for therapy. Half of the feminists in this world need therapy. You need therapy. I didn't make that video of DNA testing because, because I've said that all men are good, or because I'm saying that men, lazima watetewe. In both races, there are men who are good and there are men who are bad. In both races, there are women who are bad and there are women who are good. So you cannot sit and categorize every man and come back here and tell us you're a feminist by saying that whenever a man gets hurt, you're happy. That's not feminism. Who told you that's feminism? Where we see feminists? You're just a hateful human being who's very hurt. You are hurt and you need therapy. You need to go and see someone and you need to talk about what happened to you by God knows which man who hurt you.
Feminism and modernity did was give women the false pressure that they have to do things by themselves and that they have to be hyper independent, and that the inability to do so actually means that they're maybe perhaps missing something, lacking something, or that they're too insecure. For example, I just listened to an interview not too long ago of a woman she identifies as an ex-feminist. She grew up really right when feminism and sexual liberation was taking off, and she just went head deep into it and was just all about it. And then now, decades later, she's going on to reflect on a lot of the different ideas that she adopted that actually were really harmful. And I think chief among those ideas is this idea that ladies should be able to do everything that men can do, but better, right? We should be able to be as independent, as successful, as self-assured, as aggressive, whatever it may be. And I'm not a person that says it's, wrong for a woman to have confidence or to pursue her dreams or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But my point is, I think this culture has become so hyper-individualistic that it's created this toxic independence that I see. These different TikTok trends, whether it's, the boss babes, the girl boss, which again, there's nothing wrong with a woman running her business, but this idea that a woman has the capacity to do everything in and of herself and be completely self-sufficient and not need input from anyone else, really not need input from a man. And the problem is, even if a woman has all the money in the world and an amazing job, at the end of the day, there is no substitution for a relationship. There is no substitution for community. There is no substitution for the satisfaction that a person, an individual gets when they are connected with someone else. And I think there has to be an understanding that no human being was meant to do things in and of themselves. No human being has the ability to thrive fully independently. We are not God. God created us to be interdependent. And I think that lie has also been put on women to the point to where now you have ladies who actually feel like their best option is living in a car by themselves, not having any community, not having any support, not having anyone else, that they really feel like it's better for them to live in a car by themselves and go through the challenges of being in snow sometimes, rain, it's cold weather, car breaking down, all the challenges associated with that. And to me, that is an indication, again, of a society that pushes hyper-independence. And sometimes ladies thinking that it's actually bad to be like, I need help. I can't do this by myself. Or I can do this by myself, but I'm not thriving in the way that I could be if I was doing it within the community or in a community. And I think it's okay as a woman, and especially as Black women, since many of us were told that we have to do things individually, and that is not only the expectation that if we don't do things individually that we are lesser than. I think it's okay to just take a step back and be like, I want to reject that hyper independence. It's okay for me to need help. It's okay for me to know that there are certain things that I can't really do by myself. That there are certain things that are better off done in the context of a community. And that doesn't make me any less of a woman. That actually just makes me human. And that's actually how God created us.
I was a feminist when feminism was about equality, about levelling the playing field, giving women an opportunity to find their rightful place, particularly in the public world, which was tremendously important and exciting when we achieved that. But what feminism today, to me, is all about advantaging women at the expense of men. and it's become very much caught up in the demonisation of males, presenting them always at a disadvantage. And I don't want to have any part of that. I was writing recently about boys' education, which is something I've written about for many decades. And I came across an article I wrote 40 years ago where we just started to notice how badly boys were doing vis-a-vis girls. I mean, we'd had 10 years of programs trying to help girls do better in the schools, which was fantastic. And a lot of girls who had been held back by traditional assumptions about, you know, girls not speaking up and girls not doing well in maths were now beginning to shine, which was a fantastic thing. But what was becoming very obvious is there were also a lot of boys falling behind and not achieving their potential. We have really very much feminist ideology infiltrating all our education systems, systematic programs to continue to advantage girls, and no one taking any notice of the fact that boys are falling out in huge numbers.
Yeah. They're giving them priority in school when they're young. Then it's happening when they go to college. But not so much college, also in the workforce. But what's happening is a lot of ladies are falling to the wayside when it comes to the employment. Why? Because the fact that's true is men, unfortunately, well, fortunately for men, don't have wombs, right? So, you know, ladies, they postpone pregnancy because feminism. They postpone relationships because feminism. I got to do what I got to do to get by. And that's keeping them lonely and alone. We're going to get into that in this video right now.
Now come look at this.
I was constantly fed this idea that women can do everything. We don't really need men. Women can have the great career and have the kids that they like and change the tires and do this. I mean, I grew up thinking, and men are great, but like I can do all the same things. Like I do feel in many ways betrayed by that line of thinking. Personally.
Exactly what men are doing, right? Men have no remorse. We're watching. We're analyzing. That's what we do, right? Because for many years, we've been humbled. We even humble each other. Like men go through hell, right? But you ladies wouldn't understand that. But you think because you're independent, you're like a man when you're not. You're being spoon-fed. Society is doing this to you. Men never got that.
Quiet crisis, loneliness in women especially. Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't. Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence. Meanwhile, your grandmothers had way fewer choices, but way stronger direction. They built families, they built the roots, they built something bigger than themselves. And this generation swapped it all for convenience. Legacy for pleasure, meaning for freedom without structure. And here's the part that nobody likes to talk about. The men that they overlooked in their 20s, they didn't just vanish. They were building.
Facts.
Failing, learning, becoming disciplined, and becoming men. Men don't peak early. They compound with time. Value grows with time and skill and responsibility. Women don't gain leverage by delaying everything. That is not cruelty. That is reality. Every decision comes with a cost. Modern narratives today did not remove the bill, they just postponed it, and the outcome is usually the same. Distractions instead of connection. Comfort instead of intimacy, and independence without fulfillment. This is not about going backward. It's about correcting the course. We don't need less ambition. We need stronger values, commitment, family, masculine leadership, feminine devotion, and a shared purpose, because freedom without foundation doesn't liberate. It isolates you completely. And tradition wasn't the problem. Abandoning it was.
And I'm happy I learned that as a youth, right? When I was younger, I was in my like teens. I think I was around 20 years old. But what I learned to just do things. That's what I heard. I forgot where I heard it at, but I saw a video that said, just do things. Because you never know what you're going to be good at. You're at the age where you need to just do things. And I just did things. I've always been like that. Like, I've never been the type of guy to just work a job. I go to work, be at work. I'll be selling hats, scarves, and gloves. I'll be selling something. Anybody that knew me always knew I was a hustler. Like, and then also on top of that, I had marketing companies, tons of things. I juggled. In me juggling, I learned discipline, right? And yes, like she said, I was ignored, but that didn't matter because I was building. And what was I building? It was deeper than just money, right? I was building my core. Like, for instance, if you're working out, you got to work out on your legs because that helps you out. Also, you have to make sure your core is stabilized. That's what I was doing, stabilizing my core. So now I got to the point at the age as well, 44 years old, it's undeniable. The amount of things I learned when I was younger, it shows when you're older. It shows in the way you're living when you're older. But a lot of these ladies are going to be hurting. Check this out.
It's like not where I wanted to be. I haven't succeeded at anything. I haven't even tried. Like, I don't even know anymore. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to cope with anything. And I don't know. I did this whole growing thing wrong.
She was juggling men. Men have told you, I'm sure. I've listened to things. Did you listen?
I'm supposed to be an adult. I'm supposed to be able to handle these things, and I can't handle anything. And I literally am just realizing, like, it's been 40 years of this, and like,
bear with it.
It's 40 years of just being confused and not knowing, and like figuring things out slower, and like not like I haven't built anything. I haven't nothing like to show for this time. I just don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm lost. I'm afraid, and I don't.
So this is a woman turning 40. I told you that the panic used to set in at 35, and now it's getting later. And the numbers are looking more like 38, 39, and 40. And plus 41, 42, early 40s even for some, depending upon if they live in cities. So what's happening here? Some of this is that people are infantilized, right, in general. And like I tell you, there are like grown-ups, 40-year-olds in New York City that are partying like 20-year-olds. And it's like so embarrassing. If you've like grown up and you go and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like he's living in a studio apartment that he can touch both walls. He's 40 years old. His job sucks. Like he's out drinking on a Thursday night and dancing to like Groove is in the Heart. What the hell is going on, right? You're just like, holy mother, But this is also what happens to women in particular when they follow the feminist path. Because what happens is they realize that all of the stuff that they were building doesn't matter to them. And they're 40 and they're older and they're alone and it's harder to get a guy. And now like this stuff that they built doesn't keep them warm at night. It doesn't make them feel good. It doesn't make them feel valued. And now it's all of the responsibility is on them. So now it's like, oh my God, even if I wanted to have a baby and let's say I went and had a baby myself and got a donor, I have to work. I have to support this child on my own. Like it becomes completely overwhelming. And you look back at your life and you say, what the hell was I doing? And you look across the street and you see that woman who has a husband and a child and doesn't have a job anymore, but looks fulfilled. And you say, what went wrong for me? And what went wrong for them is that they listened to the crappy advice and they listened to people who told them that their career would be more fulfilling than, say, motherhood or being a wife or having a family or any of those things that put you in your feminine and make you really think about at the end of the day what brings you joy and peace. And they're at complete dis-ease and panic-stricken and now 40 and don't feel like they're in their prime and don't know what to do about it, right? Because once the time has passed, the time has passed. And you can't change certain things, right? You can't make yourself younger and you can't take away the wasted time, and you have to find a way to move forward and say, okay, I'm 40 and I'm going to do the best with what it is. But it's very hard to do when you look back at your life and say that the things that you built and invested time in don't matter to you, and the things that you didn't build and didn't invest in time in do matter to you, and it may be too late for some of them. And what compounds this is that then you have a subset of women that they go and try to have a baby and it's too late due to fertility reasons, due to many reasons. And it's horrible to watch, right? I'm not here. I have no intention of making fun of her, or this is very, very sad. What I do have an intention of is talking to the 22-year-olds out there who think I'm being mean by telling you that if you wait till 40, you're making the wrong decision. Because maybe this won't be you and won't be your story, but it's more likely that it will be your story than if you prioritized all of those things that actually will build you up, like family, husband, children, at 25. So I've seen this story play out way too many times, in particularly in women. Because guys do feel like they have more time, because guys do have more time. They do. They're not on the same biological clock. Their value doesn't diminish in the same way. They're not as reliant on attractiveness. They're more reliant on financials. It's a different world. And women will say, well, that's not fair. Life's not fair, right? It's all guys will also say maybe it's not fair that they are expected to have the financial clout that they do. It just is. We're different. We have different expectations, and it just works out that way. So it's me imploring women, look at these videos and grow up, right? People say, oh, Jen, you want people to get married at 22. Yeah, you're an adult. You were an adult at 22. You're an adult. Whatever message you got out of college that you're still a baby, you're an adult. And the sooner you embrace an adulthood that feels good to you, the less likely it is that you land at 40 panic-stricken, that you built nothing that has value to you, and you're basically still a kid that doesn't know how to do anything, and your whole life is effed up. We don't want that, you know?
And I want ladies to realize, right? Like, you have to look at what men are saying. Also what ladies like her are saying, because we're telling you like it is, right? We're kind of like, I see myself as I'm kind of like your older uncle, right? Telling you, pipe down, slow it down, get things together, like stop making rash decisions, because that's why the lady's crying at 40. She made rash decisions, kept getting with the bad boy over and over and over, rejected the good guy over and over. At one point, I'll be honest, I was the bad guy, but I was always that bad good guy. It was different. I was very different than a lot of what's going on nowadays. I come from a time where people were hard, and that's how I was raised. But let's get into the next video.
Woman, she already had some kind of masculine features, like deeper voice, deeper whatever. She decided to be a man because she wanted to see how men were treated, not sex change. She ended up killing herself after like a year and a half of this because she said she was treated so horrible that she couldn't even believe that this is how men lived.
Men, they have different problems than women have, but they don't have it better.
I can see it. I can see that you guys don't speak up the things that we need to hear because you want to love us, support us, you want to be there for us. You guys are supposed to be. You're supposed to be the strong one. And yet we've been fighting to be your equal, fighting to be the alpha. You guys are stepping back, but it's a losing war for both of us.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Nora Benson. I didn't know it was that soon. Being a man is hard. It's hard. It's really a hard, long road. Seriously. And imagine being a man in the spotlight. It's real hard. Like you ladies, man, I wish you would understand. And what do we always say? When they say, can you live without women? Men say, oh, no. I could never. I need women for this. I need women for that. And then you're asked, can you live without men? It's like, every time I see that, I get hurt. I do. Because it's like, but you need this for everything. Society is running the way it is because of us. And I'm not talking about, you know, us being electricians and all of that stuff. You need us. The reason children are still walking around nowadays is because of testicles. Be for real.
I'm so lonely. Obviously, I have no boyfriend and I'm very sexually frustrated. I'm very lonely. I'm 21. I have no friends. I have no partner.
I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but that feeling when you feel and it can't get any lonelier than this, bro.
The craziest, saddest thought. I'm in the stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies and find love. And my friend was like, you know, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't, because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to not be able to give him any?
Well, this afternoon, and I will tell you how. So I live in an apartment complex and I live alone. I am very single, and there was a tornado warning. I'm watching the Weather Channel. It appears as though this potential tornado is coming directly towards me. They're telling me to take shelter. Probably just gonna die alone. I don't have to go through this alone. I can get over there. So I sprint across to the building in the pouring down rain with my little dog. I get in there, I look around. It's all of the old ladies and their little dogs that live alone in my apartment complex.
Man.
And they all went over there so they didn't have to die alone either. I'm the old lady with the little dog in the apartment complex too.
Damn. That's painful. When you feel it like that, you was over there with the old ladies that were alone, that had the best careers. This is not okay. It's not. I don't want to see this for y'all. Crazy.
Is the modern feminist movement that actually began in the late 60s, all about the deconstruction of the family. And then they said, how do we destroy monogamy? By promoting prostitution, nudity, eroticism, and homosexuality. Because we have had constant images sent to us that being a powerful woman is acting like a man. Being a powerful woman is being seductive, not virtuous. And forgotten what it is to be a powerful woman. Women fight by flourishing, fight with life. Women fight with truth. And now we've got women, last line of defense to protect the children.
While I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. Being single and 46 sucks. It just sucks. And I make jokes about buffoons that I have been encountering in dating, but in reality, this is my reality.
This is a story about deceit, lies, love bombing, and selling dreams. So I matched with a guy a month ago on Hinge. Yes, I know you guys are telling me to get off Hinge, but I matched with this guy on Hinge and he seemed really, really nice. Like from the start, he was really, really like affectionate over text. Like he used a lot of X's and he spoke in a way that I can best describe as if he was written by a woman. Like he literally would say the sweetest things to me. He would say, I love everything about you. You are so beautiful. You're so pretty. You're so amazing. You are the best. He literally said, I like everything about you. He would constantly like reaffirm me and make me believe that he was so into me. Like he even said it himself. Like I'll show you this text message here. He literally says, I'm really into you, Miriam. You're really cool. You're really funny. And the more I speak to you, the more I want to get closer to you, right? So he took me out on a date. So I do think I did better this time because it wasn't like I just went over to his house and got cracked. Like he took me on a date and we went to Fair Game in St. Paul's. And the date was really, really lovely. Like he was asking me a load of questions about myself. I was asking him questions about himself. Mind you, he's from Florida.
You heard what she said? This is the problem, right? We have to get back to tradition. She said, this time. I didn't go straight over his house and get cracked this time. How are men to take you seriously when those things can happen, or when those things have happened, or when certain men have did certain things to you. Men want no parts. Seriously. We've come to a point in history when men really don't want to deal with women who are not who they say they are. Because all of you put on that mask and that facade, and it's a whole different story. And men are not doing it.
Brothers! What we do in life echoes in eternity.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.